What's up, Ravens fans? I am back from the Pro Bowl. Ryan Mink is back from the Senior Bowl, and it's time to answer your questions in this week's Ravens Mailbag. So the first question today comes from Cody Rollins, and this is a question we've got from a lot of fans. The question is, I know it's a little early, but do you think that we have a good chance of signing Jarvis Landry in free agency?
I wouldn't say that it's a good chance, but I like it.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing about Jarvis Landry. He's not going to come cheap. It's probably going to be $14 million. That's a pretty good chunk of change. The question is, can the Ravens free up enough money if they're interested in Jarvis Landry, which I think that they would have some interest, including there's reports that they were interested in trading for him last year. But could the Ravens afford him? That's the question. I don't think they'd be able to sign back Ryan Jensen if they're going to, or James Hurst, or some of their other unrestricted free agents if they're going to swallow $14 million, but I do think there's a way they could. Here's why I like Jarvis Landry. The Ravens have needed a #1 wide receiver for a long time. That's Jarvis Landry. You have an opportunity, perhaps, if the Dolphins don't franchise him, which that's a possibility. He might not be available. But if he is, you have a chance to get him. He's sitting there on the market. Go ahead. I mean, this guy has put up 400 receptions in his first 4 years. No wide receiver has ever done that in NFL history. So you have a bona fide guy in the prime of his career, an opportunity to get him. I say, if you can make it happen, make it happen.
Well, the other thing that you point out, he's in the prime of his career. The Ravens have had a lot of success getting guys near the tail end, like a Mike Wallace or a Steve Smith, Derek Mason, those kinds of guys. But Jarvis Landry, he's going into his 5th season. Yeah. He's got a lot of good football left in him.
But is it going to happen? I still say it's probably more likely that he ends up in Miami than hitting the open market. So if I were saying the chances, with all those things given, I'd say lower than 50-50.
Okay, all right, next question. This one comes from Tim Harrison, and the question is, do you see any chance of the Ravens choose a defensive player like Florida State safety Derwin James if too many wide receivers fly off the board in the first round? Well, look, I think the Ravens are going to go offensive heavy in this year's draft, but that's not a guarantee that they're going to go receiver at all in the first round. Say Calvin Ridley's gone and they're sitting there at 16 and they don't love the options that are available to them. I think they could go defense in that situation. Is it Derwin James? That's not an immediate need. They have their starting safeties coming back in Eric Weddle and Tony Jefferson, but Derwin James is somebody who's played all over the field. He was one of the top prospects coming out of high school, a top 5 guy, really talented player. He kind of checks the box as a playmaker, and so I think the Ravens would be interested. Another guy I'll throw out there is Roquan Smith. He's the inside linebacker.
I was going to say linebacker, inside linebacker.
That one to me seems like a little bit more of, if he's there, Roquan Smith, went to Georgia, was a Butkus Award winner, was the best inside linebacker in football, a lot of personality. I think that he would be maybe more of a fit as much as Derwin James is somebody that I do like.
Can you ever rule out the stud defensive lineman in the first round?
From Alabama?
Exactly.
You know, one of those guys? No, you cannot rule it out. That's actually where we're going to go with the next question here.
All right, the last question from @Baltimore Raven is, what are the odds we draft a Bama player, specifically in round 1, over or under 50-50? I'm going to say it's under 50-50, but you can never count out the Alabama guy and Ozzie Newsome. You never know, and you can never rule it out. I always look, is there an Alabama inside linebacker, like C.J. Mosley? Nobody expected C.J. Mosley to be the pick in 2014, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's your guy. So, no, I don't think you can rule it out. Minka Fitzpatrick, I don't think he's going to last.
Well, it's funny, last year, not many people expected Marlon Humphrey. You go back to the mock drafts, and no one really had him penciled in, and then you see that draft, you say, how did we all miss that? How did everyone miss that? That could happen again this year.
Exactly. The Alabama corner.
Right.
I mean, come on. That was a gimme, right? That should have been a layup for all of us draft nicks.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking draft over the next couple of months here, but as always, we'd love to hear from you guys, so send in those questions on social media every single week using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.